Biology 5.3, Conserving Biodiversity. People are using many approaches to slow the rate of extinctions and to preserve biodiversity. What are the two classes of natural resources? What are the methods used to conserve biodiversity? And what are two techniques used to restore biodiversity? The consumption rate of natural resources is not evenly distributed, as you can see in this graph. Resources that are replaced by natural processes faster than they are consumed are called renewable resources. Include resources such as solar energy, agricultural plants, animals, clean water, and clean air. Resources that are found on Earth in limited amounts are those that are replaced by natural processes over extremely long periods of time, longer than it would take us in a lifetime to live, are called non-renewable resources. They'll eventually renew, but not within our lifetime. Resources that are found on Earth in limited amounts are those that are replaced by natural processes over extremely long periods of time are called non-renewable resources. These would include fossil fuels and mineral deposits. The classification of a resource as a renewable or non-renewable depends on the context. Sustainable use means using resources at a rate at which they can be replaced or recycled while preserving the long-term environmental health of the biosphere. Biodiversity hotspots must have at least 1,500 endemic vascular plants and have lost 70% of its original habitat. Endemic species are only found in one specific geographic location. Biodiversity hotspots contain approximately half of all plant and animal species.
Conservation biologists have identified locations around the world that have exceptional levels of endemic species and critical levels of habitat loss. Endemic species are only found in specific geographic areas. Biodiversity hotspots, which are highlighted in red on the map, are ecosystems where endemic species are threatened. To be called a hotspot, a region must meet two criteria. First, there must be at least 1,500 species of vascular plants that are endemic. Second, the region must have lost at least 70% of its original habitat. Approximately half of all plant and animal species are found in hotspots. These hotspots originally covered 15.7% of Earth's surface. However, only about a tenth of that habitat remains. If these endemic species become extinct, biodiversity will decrease.
Corridors between habitat fragments in protecting biodiversity. If you connect smaller parcels of land, allowing organisms to move safely between them, you're creating a corridor. Creating a large piece of land that can sustain a wider variety of species and a wider variety of genetic variation, and can also pass disease and infection between fragments and increase edge effects. Biological communities can recover from natural and human-made disasters given the appropriate amount of time. Time heals all things, right? The larger the affected area, the longer it takes for the biological community to recover. Ecologists use two methods to speed recovery time: bioremediation and biological augmentation. The use of living organisms such as prokaryotes, fungi, plants to detoxify a polluted area is called bioremediation. Adding natural predators to a degraded ecosystem is called biological augmentation. The United States Endangered Species Act was enacted in 1973. The ESA was designed to legally protect species that were becoming or in danger of becoming extinct. An international treaty, the Convention of International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, otherwise known as CITES, was signed in 1975. CITES outlawed the trade of endangered species and animal parts.